Hey everyone, this is Mario again. We just got a couple days left till Christmas. Yay! Cue Christmas, random Christmas music here. Now today I'm reviewing a movie I reviewed a couple years ago on my old channel, but I decided, no, I think I'll give it a re-review. It's a film that's now 21 years old. It is probably my favorite Christmas movie. Then again, I can't really think of any other Christmas movies off the top of my head besides the sequel that I really watched, that I've really seen, but it, of course, is the Chris Columbus directed, John Hughes written film, Home Alone. And my good buddy Mike, OCP Communication, reviewed this film and its three sequels a while ago, in which, by the way, Mike, you did a good job on the reviews. And the reviews you've done since then are good, and it makes me want to check out a couple of those movies, like Scrooged. But anyway, with this movie, I have the Family Fun DVD over there, but the case is way in the back, and I don't want to dig it out. But I will talk about the features on the DVD later. Now, this movie stars Macaulay Culkin, who we all know him as a child star, which he's done some acting since he's been an adult, but it's been sparingly. And everyone knows him from the Home Alone movies, Uncle Buck. I know him also from Getting Even with Dad, which I liked that movie as a kid. Don't know if it's a movie that holds up. I have to give it another watch. Then, of course, The Good Son, which that was another movie of his I enjoyed as a kid. I have to see if it holds up as well. My Girl, which I remember seeing that movie as a kid as well. He gets killed by bees. And who gets killed by bees? I would punch every bee in the face. Yeah, fuck you, bee. Yeah, you're getting me, bee. But those are just some of his movies. Also has Joe Pesci in it. The Oscar winner, Daniel Stern. Both of them are great actors. We have John Hurd, which this is the only movie I know him from in its sequel. But he was in an episode of Law & Order SVU where he played a Russian mobster that was in the witness protection program. Yeah, he did pretty good in that episode. His son gets killed in it, though. And, of course, Catherine O'Hara, who everyone knows from Beetlejuice, which that's a movie I want to review in a couple of weeks, maybe because I just rewatched it not that long ago. Which, she's kind of bitchy in both movies, actually. That's kind of ironic. Anyway, the score is done by John Williams, which every score he does is beautiful. It's not like some other people where you're like, that score is weird. Every score John Williams does is beautiful in its own right. And, of course, everyone remembers the main theme of this. Dun dun. Okay, dang, I messed up. I'm trying to think of how it goes off the top of my head because I know it. Dang it, why is I can always dun 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 dun. You get it. I think you get the point. And then, of course, the other song, which got an Oscar nod, if I remember correctly, Somewhere in My Memories. Follow the music. Follow the magic. That's all I know. But that was a pretty good song. Now the plot is, of course, that the McCallister family they plan to go to France to spend Christmas with a family member because there's two generations in the house. There's the parent generation, which it has three brothers. One of them is played by John Hurd, and I'm trying to remember what his character's name is. I think it's Peter. I'm double checking really quick. Yeah, Peter. And then, of course, there's his brother Frank, which I'm going to see who he's played by. Gary Bandman, which I know I recognize this guy from somewhere. I think he was also in a couple episodes of Law & Order SVU. Oh, yeah, he played lawyer Stan Gilman. Yeah, that's where I saw it. That's what I recognize. I think it was in the early seasons, yeah. Kind of ironic there, if you think about it. Two Home Alone co-stars being guest stars in Law & Order SVU. Would have been funny if they were in the same episode. And then, of course, their other brother, which I don't know what the other brother's name is off the top of my head. I'm checking. Yes, I'm checking. I'm checking Wikipedia. It doesn't. Oh, okay, Rob. That's what it is. Rob. Excuse me. And their brother Rob. Rob is the one that's in Paris. He is basically paying for his two brothers, their wives, and their kids to all come, and as well as his one daughter that's still out there in school because he moved to Paris because of his work. Now, it's 15 people in total. Now, the night that we first see them, which is the night before they're going to the airport, we really get the sense of what this family is that just with Peter, Kate, and the other, that's Catherine O'Hara's character's name, if I remember right. Yeah, Kate. We get the really good sense that Kevin usually gets the short end of the stick in the household because he has an older brother named Buzz who is an archetypal dick of a big brother. You know, whenever you think of an older brother that is just a dick to the little brother, Buzz is one that pops up. I know that one brother from Weird Science also pops up, but for me, I think of Buzz. I mean, just the first scene we see them in together, just the first thing he says to Kevin, "Don't you know how to knock, flemwad?" That gets it really across. And then the next thing he says when he asks him if he's standing there, "I wouldn't let you sleep in my room if you were growing on my ass." Stuff like that, it really homes it. It doesn't help matters that his two sisters and his other brother are also kind of jerks to him. I think he's two sisters, and I only say he has one, but it's hard to tell which sibling is which. But you know he has at least one sister and one other brother. They are not really nice to him too, and just the scene he gets in trouble with Buzz because Buzz eats his cheese pizza. That scene shows that he gets the short end of the stick, and he's sent to the top floor of the house to sleep. And of course, that night there's a power outage, which means the alarm clock does not go off, and they're awoken by the van drivers. And this is a scene that works in this movie, doesn't work so much in the sequel, and that is, "Peter, we slept in!" And then they're all rushing about to get ready and stuff. But they forget one thing. They forget Kevin. Because in their rush to get out, someone forgot Kevin was up there. And so Kevin's left home alone. Now, the plot from there is that once the parents realize that he's gone, Kate wants to get her ass home to get him. Kevin, you know, he made a wish that his parents are gone, so he thought that'd come true. But either way, what kid that does not like his older brothers and is mad at his parents would not be happy to wake up one morning and find himself home alone? And I mean, even his uncle and his uncle's family are kind of mean to him, so... Especially Frank, because there's a scene I'm going to talk about later that was deleted that really nails this home, but he doesn't really like his Uncle Frank. Now, the first thing that happens is he celebrates, run around the house partying, which the way they do it in montages is very creative. Now, the thing that dampens Kevin's home aloneness is that there's been a series of burglaries in Chicago, which is where the movie takes place, by this duo, Harry and Marv, known as the Wet Bandits. They're played beautifully by Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, and the chemistry between them is very good. And like with Frank, there were some scenes between them deleted, which I'll talk about again in a bit, but the scenes that did make it into the cut really nails home that they are friends. We don't know how long, but it kind of feels like years from the chemistry. And obviously Harry is the smarter of the two, while Marv is kind of a little slow, but still there. And once they find out Kevin's home alone, it's war, because the last act of the movie is just Kevin at his house getting it ready and stuff. Now, another thing I should mention, there's a subplot which once again shows how much of a dick Buzz is that he tells his cousin when Kevin's in the room about this guy that lives a couple doors down named Old Man Marley, who is played in this movie by Roberts Blossom, which I believe he's no longer with us. Yeah, he died earlier this year. Rest in peace, man. He was 87. Well, the story is that he basically tells them that Old Man Marley killed his family years ago and buried them somewhere, but there's no evidence to convict. And throughout the movie, there's little hints that this might be true, like a look he gives Kevin when Kevin goes outside once. And there's actually a deleted scene that was supposed to nail this home. It's during the sled scene. It's kind of funny. Then, of course, when Kevin goes to the store and sees Old Man Marley, that also nails it home. But we eventually find out, of course, Old Man Marley is innocent. And this is a touching scene in the church where him and Kevin talk, and Kevin tells him he should call his son and stuff. It's one of the most touching scenes in the movie, and it's actually right before Kevin goes home to arm the house. And, of course, you can guess at the end he is reunited with his family, and it ends on a funny note, which I'm not going to spoil for those who haven't seen the movie, but it is a family comedy. It's a Christmas movie for the whole family. As the commercials put it, a family comedy without the family. Well, another thing I think I should talk about is a little cameo by John Candy as Gus Polinski. His role was shot very quickly, and he does very good the time he's there. And if I remember correctly, that one speech his character gives about the funeral parlor actually happened to him, so that would be weird as a kid being left at a funeral parlor with a corpse. So you're dead, huh? Now the special DVD. This is one of those DVDs that Fox did, because yes, this is a Fox movie released back when they were still 20th Century Fox. The Family Fun Edition, it has a lot of stuff. The only thing I haven't really watched on it yet is the commentary, but it's with Chris Columbus and Macaulay Culkin, if I remember right. It has stuff like all the trailers. It has a couple featurettes, like one's a making of on the set. It's pretty good. Has bloopers, which are funny. This is a lot of, they're just basic bloopers. What kind of Christmas? Someone's in my house! Ma'am, do you think my parents would leave me home alone? Stuff like that. And the deleted scenes are also interesting. Like, a couple of them are like alternate versions of the scenes, like the scene where Buzz is talking about nothing important's gonna happen. One of them is one that takes place in France after Kate has left. It's where John Hughes' character is talking with his daughter. Part of that scene is actually in the blooper reel because he messed up his line. And the two scenes with Harry and Marv, they're alternate deleted scenes of right after they lose Kevin when he goes into the church. The first one involves them singing a corrupt version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. We know when you're out dancing, we know just what to take. We know where all the money is, so come on, give us a break. It's Harry and Marv are coming to town. And the other one is one where Marv makes coffee with this, I think it's like a little cappuccino machine that they stole, and he made it too strong, and Harry's like, oh, it's no good, you made it too strong. Oh, that's good. You can tell from the look on his face that he even thinks it's too strong, he's just not going to admit it. Then there's that one I mentioned about Old Man Marley. Oh, and there's another one that happens right after the first scene with Old Man Marley. So they cut back into the room where Buzz tells Kevin if he doesn't get out of his room pronto, he's going to staple him to Marley's front door and ring the doorbell. They should have kept that bit in, because that would just show more how much of a dick Buzz is, but I think they felt that they had nailed that point home already. And this other one just this is another little bit that would have been cool to see in the movie, but it's not really necessary. It's where we see Frank and Kevin interacting, and Frank pantses him. You know what they're going to call you in Paris, Kevin? No, what? Yank! And he just walks away, leaving Kevin with his mouth. It's just a funny scene. I want to know where the movie was supposed to be. And then, of course, I'm trying to remember if this is in the lead scenes or the bloopers, but it involves a pizza delivery guy when he first arrives there. I think it's in the blooper. I think it's actually in both. Where Joe Pesci, when he's in the cop outfit, tells the pizza delivery guy, you could be arrested for that. I forget what he says, but in the blooper he's trying to remember his line. You could be arrested for moping with a tent to gawk. But the thing with the pizza delivery guy, as part of that deleted scene, looks at the two kids that are Franks. He's like, you guys are my witnesses. I was here in 30 minutes or less. They should have kept that in, because that just shows how much of a dick the pizza delivery guy is, just like later in the movie. Cheapskate. And how can I review this movie without talking about probably one of the most famous things in it, the Angels with Filthy Souls thing. That little spoof/homage to the gangster movies that Kevin watches, and it's very well done. It's actually one of the special features. You can actually watch it as a normal film, and it's interesting. If they did a special edition of the sequel, I'd love to see them do that with the sequel one, Angels with Even Filthier Souls. It's that Angels with Filthy Souls, that leads to two funny gags. Once when he uses it on the pizza delivery guy, and then another when he uses it on Marv. And it's just funny when he uses it on Marv with the... Another thing that is memorable about this movie is the slapstick during the third act of the movie. When Harry and Marv try to break into the house, all the slapstick and stuff, the paint cans, the stepping on ornaments, slipping with it. Granted, some of that stuff, or not all of it, depending, I think like 75% of it at least, would probably cause an injury you wouldn't be able to get up from. But it's a movie, and it's slapstick. You gotta put it in the realm. You have to suspend your disbelief a little bit for it. And I do, and that's why I enjoy it. And I know it's because of that's one of the reasons some critics probably gave it a lower score. I know Siskel and Ebert, but they more really bashed the slapstick in the second one, which I will get to when I review that movie. But bashing it just because of the slapstick. For one, these are burglars. This is a point that Mike made in his review. These are burglars. He's saying the burglars who are breaking into a house, who at points are even threatening Kevin's life, don't deserve this? I mean, they more so in the second one because they even state they're going to kill him. In this one, they don't. They hint it later as they're going through it, but they're burglars. They deserve to go through this stuff. And one of them is Joe Pesci. We know he's played a mobster, so we know he can take it. And like I said, slapstick, this is an example of slapstick is funny. I mean, Three Stooges is probably the most prevalent example of slapstick working in a real life scenario. This one, it's not that over the top, but it's still. Probably if I have to list my favorite of the traps, it's probably when Joe Pesci gets his head lit on fire. Just the look on his face when it happens. You're dead, kid. Second favorite one would probably be the iron to Daniel Stern's face. Or maybe even when he steps on the ornament. I'm gonna kill that kid! Just watch the trailer if you want to see some of this stuff if you don't have the movie. Crackers and stuff. I know I'm talking about a lot of stuff in this movie, but this is one of those movies that who hasn't seen it at least once, though. But I'm being vague in certain parts because if you haven't seen the movie, I do want you to give it a watch. My rating for Home Alone is 5 out of 5. It's a Christmas movie. I can't really think of anything wrong with it. The chemistry between the actors and their performances are spot on. The writing by John Hughes is great. Chris Columbus's direction is great. The movie had a $18 million budget, and you can actually see where most of that money went. Because some of it, went to budgets and to salaries and stuff, but you can see on the film where a lot of that stuff went, which some of it I'm not going to spoil what it is, because dang it, what's the word? It is an essential part to the plot. But anyway, it's a Christmas movie that if you haven't seen it, but you have it, or if it's on TV, I suggest you give it a watch this year.